According to new stats released by Feed NB, food bank usage is up 55% compared to last year, with 50,000 visits per month at food banks across the province. A Fredericton food bank is reporting an average of 90 new visitors a month over the past year. Food Bank Canada's hunger count has found that 47% of food bank users are on social assistance or disability-related income support. Yet, when I asked the Minister of Social Development in estimates last month when she would address this urgent issue by increasing social assistance rates and implementing a guaranteed livable income for people with a disability, she couldn't commit to a timeline. The Minister just said New Brunswickers need to thrive. So, my question to the Minister of Social Development is, how long do people have to wait?
Je reconnais la ministre du Développement social.
Madam Speaker, through you to the member opposite, thank you for raising this. And main estimates, this is such an important conversation to be having right now, and it's timely, especially following this affordability conversation. Folks with disabilities tend to be over-marginalized in a poverty conversation. That's why we've been working with our community partners. That's why we've been working with our team. That's why we've been working with the other departments to revamp how we deliver disability support services. I understand that the member wanted a timeline. When we work with our partners, we know how important this is. They wanted to make sure, and we want to make sure that we get this right. That's why we're working with our partners. They asked us to slow down in order to make sure we get this right. We have pieces of it rolling out, and as I said during main estimates, I look forward to being able to share in the coming months of what this program looks like.
Je reconnais la députée de Tantramar.
Madam Speaker, it's no wonder that New Brunswickers on social assistance make up such a high proportion of food bank users. And single people account for almost half of food bank users. By the Minister's own admission, a single person on transitional assistance receives less than half of what's needed to survive. However, it's not only people on social assistance. 20% of food bank users had employment income and obviously need higher wages. And a third of users are children. 1 in 3 are kids. I don't want to hear an answer about the school food program because that is not enough for these kids. What about supper? What about weekends? What about summer break? If the Minister doesn't have an urgent plan for social assistance reform and a guaranteed livable income, will she at least provide increased emergency funding to food banks to help them face this crisis?
Je reconnais la ministre de l'Éducation et du Développement de la petite enfance.
Madame la Présidente, nous sommes très inquiets sur ce côté-ci de la maison, sur l'insécurité alimentaire également. Puis c'est justement la raison pourquoi nous avons mis en œuvre un programme robuste pour les petits déjeuners l'année dernière, puis on va avoir un programme pour les dîners en septembre. Merci.
I recognize the member for Tantramar.
I clearly said I didn't want an answer about the school lunch program. Madam Speaker, we need urgent action to fix the hunger crisis New Brunswickers are facing. I don't want to hear about the school lunch program or that you've offered a 10% discount on power rates that was immediately offset by large rate hikes. Everything has continued to get more expensive and New Brunswickers are struggling. 34% of Canadians had to dip into their savings or borrow money just to put food on the table in April, up from 28% just last fall. And meanwhile, just last Friday, the Premier was lobbied by Loblaw's CEO, Mr. Bank. Loblaws are profiting off these unaffordable grocery prices while many New Brunswickers are living in government-enforced poverty. I wonder what the Premier told Mr. Bank that New Brunswickers need. Madam Speaker, how much longer will the Minister of Social Development continue to give people less than half of what they need to survive?
I recognize the Minister of Social Development.
Madam Speaker, through you to the member opposite, thank you once again for highlighting that, yes, New Brunswick, we are in an affordability crisis. It has been building. It's been years coming. There has been folks that have been neglected and not invested in for years, Madam Speaker. Social assistance modernization is on its way right now. We increased our investment in income security, including social assistance, for the past budget from $363.6 million to $425 million, Madam Speaker. That's a 15.5% increase, Madam Speaker. And we know that it's not just about social assistance rates alone. It is about rent cap, Madam Speaker. It is about other opportunities for affordability measures to be put in place to be able to support New Brunswickers to have the opportunity to live the life that they deserve to live. That's why this government is investing in New Brunswickers, because we know that when you invest in people, that is when you gain your greatest results. That is where we're investing, Madam Speaker. It's not just about the rates, Madam Speaker. It is about